Naruto is better than Dragon Ball Z. Now let me start off by saying that both Naruto and Dragon Ball are important in my life and that I enjoy both of them immensely. If it weren't for Dragon Ball's influence in manga and anime, Naruto and many other anime wouldn't be where they are today. So I have to give Dragon Ball credit where credit is due. That being said, that doesn't mean I could objectively say that makes Dragon Ball a better overall story than Naruto. While both can be enjoyed by many, there are certain things that Naruto has over DBZ when it comes to the overall story. The first thing I put Naruto over DBZ for is the characters. Say what you want about how a lot of the characters in OG Naruto get tossed to the wayside in Shippuden, they were still better written than most of the characters in DBZ. In Naruto, most of the characters have character development throughout the show. Not that Dragon Ball doesn't have that, but more so it was done in an effective way in the story of Naruto. There are many characters that get enough development to where it can be easily seen to why someone would have them as their favorite character, like a Pain, Madara, Sasuke, etc. Those characters had a massive change of heart throughout the story of the show. Now there are characters in Dragon Ball like Vegeta and Piccolo that has underwent a drastic change, but you can't really say that for characters that lasted just about as long as they have. Like Goku, for example. He has definitely grown as a character in terms of strength and that he has definitely had some hardships along the way, but it's mainly due to his nature as a character. That being, he is always wanting to be stronger. That's great, don't get me wrong, as is why most of us love Goku to begin with, but say for someone like Naruto, who is an underdog, someone who has a lot stacked against him, rise up to the occasion. The main difference between Goku and Naruto is that Goku actively seeks out to be stronger because it's within the Saiyan nature. Naruto is more so wanting to be Hokage to earn the respect he feels he deserves since the village was hating on him from the jump. Both great motives for characters, but Naruto was more layered in how it was presented to us. Another reason why I deem Naruto to be the overall better story is because of the writing. For the most part, Naruto is more concise with how it tells the story. It doesn't really throw you in the middle of the story unlike DBZ. For example, the Android Saga is notorious for many write-up changes that, while may have made an overall enjoyable story, can be seen as schizophrenic, mainly with who would be considered the main villain of the saga between the androids, from Dr. Gero to Android 17 and 18 to Cell in his many forms. With Naruto, however, for the most part, we have a clear indication of who the main villain is and what the main objective is throughout the story. We know that it's the Akatsuki as a whole that the main protagonist have to worry about, while the overall goal for the main character is to stop them and still reach the title of Hokage. Couple all of that with plot twists and turns that make you want to jump out of your seat, like the truth about Itachi, it can be easy to see why Naruto's story is highly regarded in the anime community. Now if you want to talk about how the ending was trash, I won't stop you. In fact, I have a video about the ending of Naruto and how I felt of it as a letdown. Link in the description below for that video. But aside from that, most of Naruto is an overall concise story to go through, at least in comparison to Dragon Ball Z. And the final thing that has Naruto over DBZ to me is the fights. Now I can see this being debated about since DBZ and Naruto have some top tier fights, but here's why I consider Naruto to be slightly ahead. The first reason would have to be the emotional weight attached to each fight. In DBZ, most of the fights aren't as emotionally driven in comparison to Naruto. For example, Naruto and Pain was loaded with emotion, given that both combatants derived from the same teacher while having completely different views on life and how they wanted to handle things, along with how Pain ended up killing Jiraiya and Naruto wanting to get his get back. For the DBZ side of things, for the most part, each fight that is gone through is mainly just to stop the bad guy from doing bad things. Some fights can be emotionally driven, like Goku versus Majin Vegeta, but it's not as alluring in comparison to Naruto. The second thing that has Naruto fights over the edge for me is the choreography. Now, since I'm remembering most of these fights from the anime version of each story, you can somewhat take this with a grain of salt since some scenes are added to make it more appealing to the viewer in comparison to the manga version of the fight. That being said, Naruto fights end up being more calculated in terms of how each opponent handles their fight. A prime example being the Shikamaru versus Hidan fight, where even though Shikamaru is physically weaker than Hidan, he was able to win against him due to his cleverness, which resulted in one of the best get-backs of all time. With DBZ, while there is some strategy to the fights, most of the time, the outcome of the fight is going to be based off who was stronger at that point in time. Since the overall story of DBZ is entertaining, the fights can still be enjoyed, but Naruto, at least for me, edges it out a bit due to the cleverness of a lot of the fights. Now, as of writing the script, I only have recently read the Boruto manga and only know most of Dragon Ball Super story through the anime that was released. Now, take what I'm about to say as a grain of salt, but as for now, for the canon material that I have consumed, I would put Boruto above Dragon Ball Super. I may go into more detail in a later video, but as for now, the main thing that has Boruto over DBS for me is that it is competently written. It feels like for DBS, characters that we used to love have regressed to a one-dimensional version of themselves, specifically Goku in how he's really feeding to just fight stronger opponents and nothing more. I also want to note that the arcs themselves aren't written well, given that some plot threads ended up not making any sense or just don't plain work, like the Goku Black arc for example. Again, I may make a video on why I see Boruto to be better than Super, but I have to catch up on both material, so that's gonna take some time. As of now though, I can still comfortably put Naruto ahead of Dragon Ball Z. There's too much within Naruto's favor that has me enjoying the material more than DBZ. That said, I'm sure DBZ has some things going over it, so I ask, do you prefer DBZ over Naruto? If so, what aspects of DBZ do you find to be better? And I may mention the reasons in an upcoming video on why DBZ can be considered better than Naruto. It may be the shortest video I ever produce, so let me know in the comment section below. I'm the Curly Haired Hokage, and I hope you all have an amazing and blessed day. Peace.